Join the channel here over at Subscribe. I got a mailbox. Vegan is sending me the Eric July comic, so thanks for that. So I actually thought Leslye Headland was fired, but I think I confused her with Victoria Alonso or something. So the thing is, now that Axe Truth and Davy Crocco are unfortunately gone, someone's going to have to go down that rabbit hole. And if you look at the top of the image between Europe and 2023, it's got the starburst, the crescent moon, and the upside down cross. You know, if you told me this a few years ago, it would have gone over. I wouldn't have thought twice about it. And even very recently, I probably would have been fine with it. But the further and further, like the more of these type of videos, especially the Odyssey BitChute and Subscribe Star videos I make, I look at this stuff a little bit differently. And I look at the totality of the circumstances, and all these pieces come together. What's it called when you, like a mosaic piece of art, where you have all those like pieces of glass, and then you step back far enough and it comes into focus a little bit. So that upside down cross. So I mean, you could have inverted the thing. You would have had a regular cross, and then Disney goes, but that would have been a Christian symbol. So you chose the symbol of the Antichrist in a crescent moon, starburst, Antichrist, the left-hand path, Disney. Yeah, that's like nobody notices. Whatever. I mean, a compromise would have been you just would have had the tail from a comet, a starburst, come from the side, and then it doesn't represent the Antichrist or the Christ. No, we're going to go with the Antichrist symbol. Okay, that's weird, but anyway, so do women ruin everything? God, that's just a rough image. This is the future of Star Wars, you Chad Hugo bosses. It's like, not for us, because like, buddy, not even the SJWs are watching. Oh, Andor is the highest rated Star Wars ever. Nobody watched it, but they should have. Yeah, but they didn't. Not even the SJWs watched that stuff. So congratulations there. Here's the thing: women ruin everything. I know there's no left wingers listening to this. Every once in a while they'll listen to this and leave a comment. It's like, you say whatever you want, I don't care. Yeah, touch grass, go outside, finger a woman, yikes my guy, bad take, friendo, touch grass while fingering a woman. Everything to a left winger is in the like incel chads and fingering women. It's their whole worldview is of like a woman as a sex object. And then when you bring it up to them, like they don't know where to go with that, because they realize like, oh yeah, that's the whole value of a woman, is just the ability of her to get your stick wet. Or they'll use gay stuff as pejoratives, and then you call them on that, like, you're using that as a negative, right? Is that how you see the world? Is that how you see them? Because you're using it as a pejorative, and they don't know where to go with that, because they realize, oh, I guess we do still see it as a pejorative. It's your internal homophobia or something. The left wing is weird. It's like when you're a gay hating, woman hating competition, and your opponent is a left wing soy boy. It's like you're going to be outclassed every time. So imagine Leslye Headland talking to Kathleen Kennedy about making woke Star Wars. Two women sitting down together, crafting the future of Star Wars. It's just nothing more than a vector to carry the disease of globalism. To be perfectly blunt, you need men to tell these stories. The hero's journey of the blonde farm boy. The thing is, with a blonde hair, probably blue-eyed. I don't know about Luke. We're so deep in Weimar now. I probably should edit that for Sodom and Gomorrah. That this doesn't represent Star Wars at all. The idea of telling the hero story of a blue-eyed male character is not something the demons at Disney could do. I mean, you saw the upside down cross. I mean, just like let that percolate for a little bit. Just let it, like, don't just blow it off. Just let it, like, yeah, millions of people are going to see this symbol. Weird. Just let it is it inadvertent? Was it inadvertent? You think they just let that slip? Was it really the crescent moon starburst inverted cross? Somebody's going to have to step up and take Davy Crocco's position. So go look at 77 Star Wars, and if you can't roll up and you gave them the script for that, they would just crap themselves, if it had the character description. And they're like, so all these blue and green-eyed, fair-skinned, beautiful people of the light, yeah, that's not going to fly. Well, why, Disney? Because we hate Europeans. Oh, okay. I mean, let's just put it on the table here. They wouldn't make the original trilogy today. That's how far down this rabbit hole we are. They wouldn't make the very thing that got the ball rolling, the original 77, 83 Star Wars. How that looked, you can go find it. I'm sure you probably have a copy of it. I've got VHS, unfortunately the remastered VHS versions of when he's like stepping on the slug's tail. They wouldn't make that now today because it has the wrong looking people in it. And you go, but if you made it with a bunch of non-European people, it wouldn't sell because people don't like that kind of stuff. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and do that anyway. So wait, return on investment is not your primary motive, but you're a business, a company, so you're really a religion, aren't you? It's like, yes, that's where you see the forked tongue and the tail start to curl out from under the pants leg. Yes, they're not what they appear to be. Anyway, the thing is, we're not gonna get new story. Yeah, nobody gives a shit about the Acolyte or Star Wars or Mandalorian or the Book of Boba Fett. And I think there's another spinoff. Nobody gives a shit about any of that stuff. Disney Star Wars is over, man. Disney is over, or Disney will be over soon. I think Disney Star Wars is going to be the first to start crumbling, and then Marvel will start crumbling. Then you look at the rest of Disney, it's like, you just kind of lizard people pushing this kind of grooming kids stuff, aren't you? And they start to syllabate their soft susurration of their S's or something. No. We're not going to get new stories from Disney or from anyone out of mainstream Hollywood. The future of this globalist parasitical Hollywood is just to take the old stories and retell them, but make them look like this kind of stuff. Will it find an audience? No. Well, it doesn't seem to be. Oh, well, the audience is Islamophobic. So the majority of the audience doesn't fit in with your globalist Frankfurt School worldview, but they're the problem and not your globalist Frankfurt School worldview. Yeah, that's right, buddo. Yeah, that's insane. That's just insane, and you just you just keep repeating these insane things, and they think it's gonna. They don't care if it finds an audience. It has to find the kids because you brainwash the kids. They're not looking to talk, try to sell to the 50-year-old. They're looking to get that 5 to 15-year-old audience to try to brainwash them as much as possible. So the very stories that created the original Star Wars universe are now not in alignment with Disney's anti-white agenda. A modern George Lucas would never even be able to get hired today. He'd be selling books on Amazon. He would never have a chance to make movies today. The original George Lucas, because he's of the wrong ethnicity. That's where we are now. So you go, so what happens when you stop telling stories based on merit where the best rises to the top? What do you get? Oh, you get globalist propaganda. Oh, is that exactly yeah, that's exactly what you're getting. Anyway, the thing is, all the stuff they're trying to put out there, they're not taking the audience with them. The image for the Acolyte and their other new stuff, it looks like a woke casting call with a bunch of people from around the world, and at the end of it, you got the one token, some kind of basketball player, the one token blonde-haired guy who's in it. It looks ridiculous. It looks like a Larry Fink at BlackRock approved woke casting call. I don't want to see that. I speak for millions of people who are sick of this globalist diverse cancer. Assembling a cast like this does not open up the audience. We're leaving money on the table if we don't make this diverse cancer. But no, you're not. You're losing the audience. Disney's underwater. Disney's even Bob Iger himself came out and said, yeah, we haven't been growing our subscriber base because the movies, the streaming shows have not been connecting with people. And you look at him like, well, then why the fuck are you still making them? It's a good question. Maybe one of the shareholders who holds some plurality at the Disney stock will be able to ask those questions. And if you ever listen to the board reviews, the board I forget what they call it, board meetings, the quarterly reports and stuff. The people who own large blocks of Disney are asking these questions. They're asking brutally honest questions because they're dealing with millions and billions of dollars, and they're not getting the answer back from Igar. They're not getting these answers. They're just getting this bizarre globalist doublespeak. It's in a position of, yeah, you'd have to remove those people if you want Disney to change directions. And will they do that? That's up to the people who owned. Whoever owns some kind of controlling interest. Anyway, assembling a cast like this does not open up the audience. It shrinks the audience. I myself have PSD from so many Purse Puppies and Mary Sue's. I need to see a fair European cast that looks like they're out of Nordic Central Casting. All I need is diversity of thought. Green, blue, and hazel eyes. Blonde hair, red hair. maybe some light brown hair is okay. That's kind of what I want to see. I don't need to see purse puppies, and all non-European characters within the past several decades are treated as purse puppies because of the soft bigotry of lowered expectations. People don't like to talk about it, but you might as well be honest about it. If we got to start moving that window to the right, well, you're going to have to start normalizing more aggressive free speech to the extent the platform will allow it. If you give a non-fair, beautiful person of the light character nuance, then the idiots on Twitter will whine about all their, marginalization, oppressed, all this kind of Bolshevik Frankfurt School nonsense talking points because they want the characters. So you say you want all non-European characters to just be Purse Puppy Mary Sue's. Yeah, that's where they are. That's literally where they are. If non-European, then must be flawless. But that, if you're to the right of the curve, or even to the middle of the curve, that makes stories very predictable and boring. Because when I see two characters like this, you tell me, oh, who's more likely to be protagonist and antagonist? Why can the correlation between blonde being antagonist is going to be like 95%? It's not every single time. That's 1 out of 20, right? It's very, very high that the blonde hair, blue eyes is going to be the antagonist, because that's modern globalist Frankfurt School storytelling. You literally can't give this woman in the middle any flaws. And I don't know if this, I haven't seen the show. Maybe she has a few flaws in the show, but you know what I'm talking about. I'm talking about large scale averages, bell curve distributions. On a large scale, yes, every once in a while there's an outlier, but we're talking about that 77%, that middle of the bell curve. I'm right. For that middle of the bell curve, my assessment is very, 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 very on. So you're always going to have Pox characters are going to be the heroes, and Blonde's going to be, I'm talking about overrepresentation, not 100%. They're going to be evil. So there's no point in putting non-Europeans in any story, because they'll always be flat and one-dimensional, because they can't be, because Twitter will, loses their freaking mind if you give them any nuance. Anyway, so in this idiot's interview, she says that she's going to push modern topical propaganda. I mean, that's not even distinguished. That's like, oh, so why don't you just have some BLT? Oh, that's exactly what we're going to do. We're going to have BLT characters in the show. I just happen to be a BLT person myself, and I'm going to put the... So you think that connects with an audience? It doesn't matter if it connects with an audience. They hate the original Star Wars. The original 77 and 83 trilogy, they effing hate it, and they hate the creator, and they hate everyone who was in it, and they hate everyone who liked the original Star Wars. That's how far down this Weimar rabbit hole we are. It's just as bizarre. Star Wars is nothing more than them, just a vehicle to push globalist propaganda. All these people who love the original Star Wars, they don't seem to, or these people claim they love the original Star Wars. So you love the original Star Wars, but you're transforming everything about the original Star Wars. Yes, that's right. Well, it doesn't seem, if you're transformative and not curative, it doesn't seem like you love the original Star Wars. It seems like you're just the Bolshevik who's using this as a tool to push globalist talking points. And this anti-white, anti-Christian, anti-nation, anti-tribal propaganda. Because that's exactly what I'm seeing in all this modern stuff. It's just cancerous propaganda. Istophobe says what? But that doesn't change the truth of the argument at all. Anyway, you're not gonna get anything, not just out of Disney, Marvel, the superheroes genre, the Star Wars genre, or anything coming from Hollywood in general. It's not just Disney, obviously. You're not going to get anything that's watchable. You're not even like the new organic stories, because everything they want to push is this globalist nonsense about everyone's BLT. It's like, yeah, gee, how do you sustain civilization with 80% mixed race BLT people? It's like, after a few generations, wouldn't they all look alike, or even go extinct? I guess if they're all BLT, whatever. They don't tell those stories because those stories don't find an audience at all, because people hate that kind of globalist cancer. All they can do is use the bait and switch name recognition with Star Trek, Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, The Witcher, what's the Willow, like Jim Henson's, that next, what's it? The Dark Crystal is probably going to be the, like, they're just going to take all these stories that 50-year-olds are familiar with, Generation X is familiar with, and they're just going to retell them with, every character is African or Asian or Latin, but they're not the original European characters. That's weird. No, that's part of the humiliation ritual for a conquered people. You're not going to get anything good. It's all going to be bait and switch. Anyway, anyway, click the links you'll click the link. Support channel, subscribe, star if you wish. I only need 75 more subs. I'll have 100 subs. That doesn't really, yeah, whatever. Or you can send me something in the mailbox. Drop me an email, biancazombie603@gmail.com, so I can go check the email. Actually, the mailbox, actually, I have to go check it today. Thanks. Vegan, you've been doing the Lord's work. Some would say you've been a little too generous. I hate to tell people not to donate so much, but you don't want to be too generous to YouTubers. Don't let it go to their heads. Anyway, like, comment, subscribe. Sincere thanks to everyone who does support channel. See you guys on the next episode.